Welcome to the fanciest of fighting feasts. This is Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die. My name is Grant. You can call him Chip, and we are talking about the Bastet fight, or the Bast fight, because this god has two names.
I didn't know that.
As we continue on our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure rewatch, we are talking about episodes 30 and 31 of Stardust Crusaders. Episode 30 is Bastet's Mariah Part 1, although the god in question is referred to as Bast in dialogue.
Right, I didn't realize that.
We're usually only talking about the unusual foibles of like English and Japanese translation, but like the Egyptians had it too, man.
Yeah. So this episode just starts off with Kakyoin in the hospital. A big old bandage across his eyes. And he's basically fine now, except for having his eyes all messed up.
Yeah, he's getting really antsy. He's sick of being in the hospital, but he's being very polite about it.
Oh, yeah. Being the good boy he is, he will just sit there with his hands in his lap.
Excuse me, Mr. Doctor, sir, but I fucking hate it here. Every day is torture. I would like to leave. I'm so glad you're doing a great job, and I respect you.
Yeah. So the doctors have just explained that Kakyoin's just going to have to... He's going to have to stay there, and they're just not sure how long it's going to take for his eyes to fully recover. Psych. Just kidding. You need some time to heal, but...
What a jerk.
Yeah, and then he's just like, nah, actually the Speedwagon Foundation doctors just called us and said that they want to take care of you instead of us.
Kakyoin silently thanks Joseph for being such a good friend, and is like, hey, I've got a friend in high places. Don't sweat it, Doc.
So after the opening, we get our scene change to the city of Luxor.
The narrator reestablishes his job doing this introduction as talking about Luxor as the final resting place of pharaohs. It's the home of the Valley of the Kings, all that stuff. You can't go through Egypt without talking about Luxor. I'm surprised we haven't gotten any actual like mummies or like.
I know.
Aside from the naming convention of these stands and their new card art, there is nothing like particularly ancient Egyptian about this.
Yeah. Man, one thing I was thinking about, because Stardust Crusaders especially loves to like break the fourth wall a tiny bit with like the rim shots looking straight at the audience and all of that. I'm surprised the narrator has never like gotten upset that the characters are doing his job for him. That feels like a thing that would happen at some point. Like, hey, I want to explain this. I want to talk about the pressure of this guy's grab or whatever. But anyways, the Avdol is also doing the narrator's job and going like, ooh, like the tomb of King Tut's like right over there. Just keep going that way. And Polnareff just says, wow, this place is full of history. Wow.
Polnareff goes to Los Angeles and is like, wow, this is where the movie stars are. Polnareff says, that's Chappie.
God, yeah, that is what Polnareff would do.
King Tut's tomb, famously discovered undisturbed in 1922. Unique because it was undisturbed. A very, very rare thing is to find a tomb before tomb robbers do. The artifacts went on an international tour in the 1970s, which cemented not only the fame of King Tut, who his actual place in history during life, not particularly unique among pharaohs. He had a very short reign. But he's famous because of, what we actually found with him, and also his hand in the creation of like museum installations as a blockbuster entertainment.
Yeah. And Avdol is like telling Polnareff, pointing at like the houses off in the distance, that like some people apparently still like, I don't know if this part's true at all. Apparently he claims some people will still dig underneath their houses in search of treasure. I don't know about that part.
You never know. I mean, sometimes when you're just walking your cow, you find an incredibly ornate sword.
That is true. In this world, there probably is treasure everywhere. accidentally dig up another Pillar Man or something. I don't know. So Joseph isn't with the gang right now. He's off taking a piss or whatever. They have a new like strategy now because there's been so many times where one person has gone off to do something and then oops, they got soloed away from the rest of the gang. Now they're fighting on their own against some stand user. Now, whenever you have to go do something, you take Iggy with you.
Yes.
Bring Iggy with you. Even when he's not fighting, he just stops people in their tracks from being a shitty dog.
Iggy's the trump card, and they know it. Iggy is the ace in the hole.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just love taking a dog as backup because you got to go potty.
Yeah. And Polnareff immediately thinks, oh, I hope it's a normal toilet.
Guess what? It's not.
It's not. It's a hole in the ground. It's a hole in the ground you take your shit in.
It's not even a full hole. It's just like a little trough, I guess.
Somebody took a shovel, dug out one scoopful of dirt, and said, there you go.
And then planted little like footprint plates like you stand here, follow the guide.
Yeah, squat here.
I know I had like a whole theory about the dramatic purpose and meaning behind the bathroom stuff, but that doesn't mean I need to see realistic turds in a hole.
Yeah, the poop is there. The poop has been dried out by the sun. The wind blows. The poop rolls away out of the toilet hole and just disintegrates into poop dust.
Iggy doesn't seem to mind. He's not fazed at all by the poop being there.
And Joseph is just disgusted by this. There's a bucket nearby that he dunks his hand in immediately, and it's a sand bidet or something.
This is absolutely my favorite line in all of Stardust Crusaders. Quote, some kind of sand bidet?
Yeah.
All sorts of oh no's, all of the oh my gods. It's all coming out. He hates this toilet hole.
Yeah, it's bad.
Hey, don't put this on the Travel Channel. I am learning so much.
Mm-hmm. So he just leaves that toilet. He doesn't use it. No thank you.
You wipe your ass with sand? Another quote. He just can't get over it.
Yeah. So he's walking out of this outdoor bathroom stall thing, and there's just a single suspicious-looking rock he walks by that catches his eye, because it has what I would describe as, what if somebody drew a power outlet but decided, how do I make it look Egyptian?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
And it's just on this rock.
This is how we power the sacred Nokia phone of the ancient pharaoh.
And so Joseph's just like, this is really weird looking, but there's clearly no power out here. And so he reaches out towards the weird looking power outlet and immediately gets zapped by it and gets sent flying feet.
Don't touch it. Why did you touch it?
Why did you touch it? Iggy might be able to stop stand users.
But he can't stop you from being an idiot.
Yeah. Even if Iggy, like at this point, even if Iggy could, I just don't think Iggy cares to stop people from being dumb. Like he just watches Joseph put a fork into a electrical socket.
But the camera moves up behind a different rock. It's that lady. It's that lady from the Stinger last week. She's smoking all casual with her knees pulled up to her chin as she sits on the ground.
If you've ever looked up like the colorized manga of Stardust Crusaders, that was back when they had no idea what her colors were. So she looks like an inverted version of herself from the manga. She's got like light purple hair instead of just being blonde.
Without anyone to introduce herself to, we just get it anyway, we the audience.
Yeah.
In the first stand card art that is landscape oriented.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't think that means anything, but it's nifty, I guess.
Yeah.
Her name is Mariah, we learn right now, and her stand is Bast, not Bastet, as the title would have you know.
Yeah.
Bast is the goddess of protection, cats, perfume and ointments, fertility, pregnancy, children, music, the arts, and warfare.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a wide range of responsibilities for that one. Some of those match. The Mariah is meant to be like the sexy stand users, so I guess perfume, sure.
Bast is depicted as a woman with a cat's head. In practice, over like, you gotta remember that ancient Egypt lasted a really long time.
Yeah.
just ages and ages. So over time, Bast was fused with Sekhmet, the lioness-headed god, and they were worshipped as two aspects of the same goddess. Sometimes she's got a cat, sometimes she got a lioness head, and that's when you gotta watch out.
Okay. Mariah says, curiosity killed the cat. She snaps her fingers, and that outlet on the wall just like poofs away in like a little thing of like pink smoke.
Meanwhile, we get our Coca-Cola product placement.
Yes.
Is this fictional company paying for these episodes?
It happens so much for multiple parts now. Ever since soda has existed in JoJo, it's been there.
It's the only one. There's no like Sprout. They don't drink Popsy. They could, but they don't.
I want a Sprout. Sprout sounds good. So yeah, while they're having their Coca-Cola, Polnareff is talking about how if for a while now everyone's exhausted and they need to take some time to recover in Luxor because they feel like they've just been, barely winning their last couple of fights.
And Joseph is too distracted by his hand malfunctioning to object. I feel like if he was focused in the moment, he'd be like, oh, what'd you say about my daughter? You want her to die? Because that's what I heard you say, Avdol. But his head's not in the game like that because his hand is like freaking out. And Polnareff is also distracted because this, drink vendor's radio is kicking off some nasty static and it sounds like trash.
Yeah. And then while Joseph's checking out his hand again, he turns his hand around, his robot hand, and the metal cap to one of the Coca-Colas is just stuck to the top of his hand. Joseph should know that's what happens when you get vaccinated. You just become magnetic. It's very bad.
But Joseph and everybody agrees that, a day to collect our bearings wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And as they walk away, the bottle opener just really wants to get adopted. It's very sad. It chases them like a lost puppy. They already have a puppy, so there's no room in their lives to adopt a bottle opener.
It tries to keep following them, but it hits up against a brick wall and gets stopped. Joseph has all of the bottle caps stuck to his back now. As they're walking away, eventually they get far enough away that the vendor's radio goes back to normal. Some wacky shit happens in this walk here. They walk by a guy who's like making a box or something. He's hammering some nails in. His hammer starts to get pulled towards them. The nails he was holding in his mouth get pulled so hard they go through his cheek.
I was expecting it. Like as soon as they came by, you're like, oh yeah, he's magnetic. This is going to go very badly for the guy holding nails in his mouth. I kind of expected it to go straight through like the base of his brain and kill him instantly. Yeah,
he lives, but he does have nails going through his face.
Yeah. The hammer flies straight at Joseph and it gets plucked out of the air by Avdol. Good eyes.
Yeah, it's a good catch. It's the next morning. They're waking up. They're getting ready to leave the hotel. Joseph is sleeping in. He has slept with all of the bottle caps all over his body. He has not noticed or bothered to pluck them off.
This is when we learn how Joseph sleeps. His sleepwear situation. He's just in his polka dot boxers. So update the wiki.
I love that Joseph's the only guy who gets any sort of outfit changes throughout this whole thing.
Yeah. Avdol is trying to get him up and talking about his restless sleep because they got to meet everybody. Polnareff has a powerful need for brunch. We gotta go. We gotta get my moons over my hammy, or else it's not a real rest day.
So Joseph's getting ready. He sees the rest of the gang looking out the window. They're outside. He's about to walk out the door, and a chair in his room starts dragging along with him and gets stuck to his ass. And then he's like, what the hell's wrong with this chair? The floor's slanted. And as he turns around, the door fucking gets magnetized to him and slams him in the back of the head.
All these objects just want to be his friend. They want to get close. They want to cuddle. This is a codependent Brave Little Toaster situation.
Yeah. Joseph's able to pull all those things off of him. He gets out into the hallway. 2 ladies are walking by, and he tips his hat towards them. And one of the ladies has metal buttons, like decorative buttons on the fringe of her skirt. And so
he finally got the magic power to flip girls' skirts.
Yep.
He's been waiting 50 years to develop this magic power. Good things come to those who wait. This is karma right here. And boy, is it. Because after he gets punched in the face and these 2 young ladies walk away, there is a bent and shriveled, very elderly woman who also has metal buttons in her skirt. And she's not quite so offended.
Yeah.
Or at least she's playfully offended, I guess.
Yeah. Her skirt also gets pulled up, and she's, oh my goodness, young man, all this stuff. And I don't want this old woman's affection. Oh my God.
Excuse me, ma'am, but he is married to an idiot, and we respect that.
Yeah. So he just starts running away from that old lady. And then, whoa, watch out. There's like a cart in the hallway that's got a whole bunch of silverware in it. And all the silverware just goes flying at him and sticking to his hands, and he almost gets some knives to the face.
Once again, we're 2 for 2 on Joseph fights that center on him being betrayed by his body.
Yes, yeah.
At this point, I was thinking that there might be a clearer metaphor to, like, specifically his reliance on technology, like his cyborg hand. Like, maybe you could draw a line to I don't know, pacemakers or replacement hip joints failing. I don't think this is as clear, as legible as the medical horror of the Empress fight. But, maybe. If you wanted to make that stretch, I guess you could.
Yeah. He starts booking it, and he is just constantly being chased by silverware. He gets a knife and a fork in the back, makes it to the entrance of the hotel. He's trying to go down the escalator.
This is the rare strategic mistake of Joseph Joestar, because his feet are attached to this escalator. He cannot leave. He's locked onto it, and now he must face the greatest fear of every child at the mall.
Yeah. That fear got made worse as a kid for me, because there would sometimes be news reports of kids actually getting stuck in those.
And getting chewed up in the gears and sucked under.
It's just like, oh no, their shoelaces got stuck into it and then they died. Their legs got torn off their bodies. Yeah, it was bad.
But it's okay. Joseph's going to be fine. He doesn't have anything tying him down. Oh, wait. What are these metal cables coming out of a young woman's skirt that are wrapping around his neck and pulling his face down to the floor? He's finally face 2 legs with Mariah, the stand user.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess the reason she has those things in her outfit is to bind her target's necks and hands and limbs to whatever death trap is at hand. In this case, it's an escalator. I don't imagine it's an escalator every time, but
it feels like because she's got this strategy, she must have killed at least a few other people via the escalator trick.
I have to think this is a reference to, oh no, my heart and throat. Joseph cries out, oh no, my hands and feet. So he's crying out to this woman ahead of him, like, hey, please hit the emergency stop button. Anybody, please help me, get me out. Or hit the emergency stop button. I'm going to be mulched up. This cable is starting to get pulled under and ground in the mechanism. So it's tightening around wherever it's wrapped around him, including both hands, as one explodes into blood and the other in oil.
God, yeah, it's so much blood. It looks like it's not the case, but it looks like all of his fingers get broken at once.
Yes.
They're fine, actually. He'll be able to use his hands later in the fight. No one's fucking helping this old man. There's no one around, I guess. It's a slow day at the hotel, so he's got to go save himself.
Yeah. So he sends out the tendril vines of Hermit Purple to go push the emergency stop button himself right below the one handrail as it goes around, where you have surely seen emergency stop buttons all through your life, but it is not there. He does not see that it is around the side, and I wonder if this is just fudging it for the story, or if there is something different about Egyptian escalators.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's trying to reach for it with Hermit Purple, but Avdol gets there first, pushes the button. Joseph doesn't realize that the escalator has stopped, so he's still just screaming for his life. And now
Yes.
a crowd is gathered, and when did they get here? Were they just gonna watch as a group this old man get chewed up and mulched up by this escalator?
So in a bit of Looney Tunes business, because we do love our Joseph, he is eventually shown that he is not dying. And so he stands up and immediately begins a ruse to save face that I do not think anyone is buying. But, good on you for trying, Joe.
Like, he's blushing during this when he's trying to save face. Like, he is super embarrassed.
The specific act is he's trying to play himself off as a very thorough escalator inspector.
Yeah.
And he picks Avdol out of the crowd like, oh yes, you must be the building manager. What a fine hotel you have here. Let me tell you all about how good your escalators are.
Yeah. So now that he's close to Avdol, he's going like, there's a fucking stand user. And then an ashtray gets sucked up off a table and hits him in the back of the head and spreads ash all over him. Mm-hmm. And Mariah's still around. She's just watching him. Mm-hmm. So she runs off and they start to give chase.
As they run away, a big metal statue is pulled off of its plinth and nearly crushes them. And Avdol saves Joseph's life by groping it, because of course it is a statue of a busty lady.
Oh yeah, this is a boob-centric set of episodes here.
Yeah. This is noted as one of the notable differences between the manga and the anime.
Yeah, I couldn't quite remember the differences between this and the manga, but I was pretty sure the anime got a lot hornier with it.
Yeah. It's a little change. The statue thing still happens, but Avdol keeps it from falling by grabbing it by the shoulder or anywhere but the boobs.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it's all about Avdol not wanting to look like a public perv, but it's just it's where fate led his hands all the same.
Yeah. So the rest of the gang is just outside the hotel. Polnareff, again, just continuing this new smoking habit of his. Mm-hmm. And they're just waiting for Joseph and Avdol and going well, they're just taking their time. This has happened once at a hotel already. If somebody at a hotel is not coming when they say they will be coming, and you think, oh, they're just taking their time, they are in a stand fight.
Again, it happened to you, Polnareff, directly to you.
Polnareff is so goddamn dumb.
He is a goldfish. He has the brain of a goldfish.
Yeah.
No memory. He thinks his sister is still alive. He just saw her on an island. God. It's cool, whatever.
Yeah. So Joseph and Avdol have chased Mariah into the ladies' bathroom. Mm-hmm. All the stall doors are closed. They don't know where she might be hiding, but...
Yeah, this nearly stops Avdol, but Joseph knows that the way you defeat an opponent is to break the arbitrary rules they think you won't break.
Yeah.
Which in this case means entering the ladies' room.
Joseph just goes just look under the stall, she has unmistakable legs. Mm-hmm. And so they just start peeking at ladies' legs until they find the set of legs that looks like the correct one, wearing the right shoes and the leggings and all that.
In the middle of this, we get yet another cut to Polnareff just begging for eggs and hash browns, the poor boy. But essentially, the problem is this. We have, just like when Avdol was dead, there were a lot of problems that could have been fixed easily by fire. Now we have a problem that could be fixed easily by Hierophant Green.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I get it. On the other hand, this is an elaborate setup to turn your heroes into peeping Toms.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times Avdol's I don't want to do this. I'm a good boy. This is uncomfortable. He still does it. And you still set up the situation where it has to happen.
Yeah. Peeping at all these legs. They find the set of legs that looks like Mariah's. As they're about to try to bust open that stall, the magnetism of her stand causes all of the locks and all of the stall doors to be unlocked at the same time and just flip the doors open. So every lady just knows these two dudes are in here. Mm-hmm. And they all become very angry. It turns out the lady who looked like Mariah, her legs at least, is the old woman from earlier again.
Mm-hmm. Foxy lady.
Very pleased to see Joseph here, actually. And so both Joseph and Avdol, while having toilet paper and stuff thrown at them, just leap out of the window, just jump through fucking glass to get out of there as quick as they can.
Avdol is so upset to be put in this position. He says that it should be Polnareff being called a dirty pervert instead of him. And like, I think you mean in addition. You still did the thing they're angry about. You're right. Polnareff should be called a dirty pervert, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Yeah. So now that they've jumped out of this window, Mariah's right outside, and they start chasing her.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph is telling Avdol, like, don't touch any outlets. Don't touch any fucking outlets, as the camera is doing a Metal Gear Solid 1 in Maria's butt.
Yeah. I love that we are now getting some like after school PSA stuff. Maybe the next episode they'll tell me to be cool about fire safety.
Yeah, Avdol can teach you all about that.
Is Iggy Scruff McGruff the crime dog?
Ooh, yeah. Or he's Scruff McGruff's son. I forget what that one's name is, but
the does crime dog.
Yeah, the black sheep of the McGruff family.
Iggy's got priors. Don't worry about it.
So as Joseph and Avdol are running, Joseph going like, "Don't touch any fucking outlets." Avdol says, "I am so sorry, but I already touched an outlet. When I was pushing the emergency stop button on the escalator, there was a weird outlet right next to it that I brushed up against. By the way, can you give me some space?"
Yeah, they've gotten so close over this journey. Very, very literally close. They are rubbing up against each other as their limbs are getting in one another's way, running forward, trying to chase this butt that they're following. Camera loves that ass.
It does.
Yeah, and that is the end of part 1. So at this point, I rewound and went back, and like there is nothing that shows that outlet was not there when we see Avdol push the button. Because the way the initial scene is framed, where the outlet is later shown to be, is just off the right of the frame.
Okay.
But most of the button pushing action is shown from the opposite side, where the escalator itself is blocking our view.
Okay.
Yeah, all of the wide shots where you couldn't like hide it in that extreme close up are taken from the other side.
Okay. Nice. So part 2 of this fight, Joseph and Avdol have been magnetized together. They're just stuck together on the sides.
We get the first previously on in a long time that is actually about the main action of the previous episode, and not just, here's this bit after the plot ended that you might have skipped.
Yeah. Joseph and Avdol are stuck together. They're having great difficulty running and chasing her because their legs are stuck together. Like their faces are smushed up against each other. Their cheeks are like all smushed up.
They collapse, losing the three-legged race in a very embarrassing manner.
There's a shot of them just fucking flailing on the ground, trying to do anything.
At this point, I realized that they keep trying to hype up Mariah as an especially hot babe, the hottest of the stand users.
Yeah.
And like up to this point, and for a while after this point, you never get a clear look at her.
Yeah.
Like her face is cloaked and hooded. We only see parts of her at a time, you know, just close up on the butt, knee to ankle, close up of a face that is half in shadow. We never really get a good look at her. So it's all just hype at this point.
Yeah. When anime does stuff like that, half the time it feels like, okay, you're just winding up for like the tired joke of, oh, she's actually ugly. Ah! Like they don't do that this time, but that's what it feels like is winding up to. Like some random people are walking down the road and just spot Joseph and Avdol just flailing on the ground. Them getting up, they spot a wooden fence nearby, and now as they have stood up, they have accidentally like face to face gotten stuck together. Now it's not just their sides stuck together,
and so these two teens, I guess, children maybe, I don't know. These two preteens look like Egyptian Bert and Ernie to me.
Yeah,
one of them got a head like a pineapple.
Oh, there's also a cat. There's a cat that seems to be their friend. Watching.
And so they are seeing this bizarre activity in the street, and Joseph's like, hey, haven't you ever seen guys dancing before? Move on, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
And so Avdol's like, yes, it is lovely to dance in the sun on a day such as this.
Yeah.
This story is about public embarrassment, and we're about to get to the heights of it as they get to the fence. Okay, now that we're anchored, like I can pull this way and you can pull that way and we can get separated. That is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they're being supported on the fence, Joseph's like, wait, I know shit about magnets, actually. If we can find a way that we would, that our charges would repel one another, then we won't be stuck. So he says a line that I'm sure a lot of fans have wanted to hear, in maybe a different vocal tone. Slide your face down my body.
Yep. In the original manga, I can't quite remember. I think it's just in the manga. It's just like, haha, this is kind of gay, I think, is the thing. And like, that's here too. But I just want to say, the way it is animated, Avdol sliding down Joseph's body feels more in a way where like somebody who animated this was horny about this. Like it's focusing on like, oh, here's Avdol's hand on Joseph's huge chest and all this shit, and like real slowly going down and stuff.
Oh, but it picks up the pace because once his face is directly in the crotch, it's practically violent, the amount of like shaking and like.
But more people have gathered. There's
the camera
a dozen people watching now.
There's thrusting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like they don't need me to talk about this. They went there and they went there hard.
Yeah.
And so Joseph has a second thought, like, wait, our plan is for your face to get to my toe, which will probably repel. Yep. But if you're locked to my crotch like this, what if I just turn around and then through the power of ass, Avdol is launched 20 feet through the street?
Yeah, he pops off, but wait, the magnetism draws Avdol back in, and now it just looks like he's fucking Joseph from behind.
Yes.
There's more shaking. There's more thrusting. It looks like he's getting fucked.
Vigorously and enthusiastically.
Vigorously. Yeah, I don't know what's causing this much thrusting to happen.
So yes, every child in the town of Luxor is getting a real education in the streets today. And who else should show up but that old lady?
Yeah.
Who is offended. And like, obviously, you cannot discount that part of the gag here is a gay panic thing. Like, wouldn't it be funny if these guys were gay? Absolutely. But the way it is to the characters is not that at all.
No.
Avdol's problem the whole time isn't that people might think he's gay. His problem is that people might think he's so uncouth and rude as to engage in sexual contact in public. No, heavens to Betsy, no.
Oh, no.
And this old lady isn't offended because, like, oh, you're one of those. It's like, I thought we had something special.
Yeah.
She's upset at getting cheated on, not any sort of orientation thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, when I watched this, I was just like, oh, is this a gay panic thing? But also, it was still kind of funny. Like, I'm always just like, I don't know, is it the gay panic thing? But I'm still laughing. I don't know. Uh-oh. But the lady hits Joseph so hard, it separates Joseph and Avdol. She's a powerful old lady. This is a strong umbrella she's hitting them with.
She's the 7th Stardust Crusader, yeah. She has the umbrella stand.
They get hit so hard that they're separated from each other and launched over the fence. They roll down a hill.
And who do they see down the hill but Mariah? And they're like, okay, we're going to rush her. Now we know what's what. Let's go. And they fall into yet another trap that could only exist through camera angle trickery.
Yeah. They bring back a visual gag that only happened once in part 2, which is the like Looney Tunes ass Joseph looking at a thing and then a dotted line being drawn to the thing he's looking at.
Yes.
And then, they stepped on train tracks.
Like, we even get a part 2 visual callback where Joseph is talking about polarities. We see a scientific diagram of bar magnets and the, like, waves of magnetism. Yeah.
Not only are they stuck to the train tracks, but they both kind of slip. they're not on solid footing, and so both of their feet get sucked to each other.
Mm-hmm.
The soles of their feet touching, they fall down. Now they're stuck on top of each other, glued to train tracks, and there is a train coming.
Y'all ever want to see the trolley problem from the perspective of someone on the rails?
Oh, man.
Because Joseph is like, hey, Avdol, melt the rails with Magician's Red. We'll be saved. And he's like, Mr. Joestar, there are hundreds of people on that train. I can't murder them.
Yeah. And so the new solution here is Joseph shoots out Hermit Purple to grab like a stump that's nearby to try and pull them off. And he's also going like, God damn it, I wish she was just a little bit closer because then I could just strangle her with these.
Mariah here has not said much, like talking about how the in Egypt stand users are much more developed as characters, even if they are ultimately just as disposable as the pre-Egypt stand users. Her personality is so much more just in posture and body language in these moments where she's watching them die.
Yeah.
She's just got a vibe she exudes.
Yeah, she's just taking a smoke break, just watching people die. Joseph is trying to pull each other off the tracks so hard that he just kind of tears this little stump out of the ground instead. It's not a very strong, it's a very small stump.
And then the train just runs right over them. And our first real full look at Mariah is now in her moment of victory. When she has no more like surprises up her sleeve, there's nothing left to hide. We get an actual like full body shot and her face starts to come out of shadow and like, I gotcha. And like, there's a lot of hype to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very attractive woman. Yeah, this is a hot lady character design. I see it. Like, okay.
I think it's interesting that the hot lady character design still has those cheekbone lines that usually like the gruff dudes have.
Well, yeah, she's got edge. She just murdered a couple of guys.
Yeah. You know, she's starting to gloat like, damn, that was pretty easy. Now I just got to go kill Jotaro and Polnareff.
I guess they don't know about the dog yet, yeah.
They either don't know or they just don't care about Iggy.
I mean, if all the people die, who's going to tell Iggy to fight them?
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't fight Dio at that point.
When's the episode where Iggy gets really committed to the cause?
Oh, man. Just you wait.
We're going to find out that Dio's plan involves eliminating coffee-flavored chewing gum from the world.
So as Mariah is gloating, she starts to see smoke rising from the tracks. And Joseph and Polnareff are alive with really goofy grins on their face.
Because they dug a hole.
It's
always a hole.
Yup. Yeah, they just dug a hole through the ground with Magician's Red. They burnt away the wooden planks, and the tracks are still there.
The most powerful stand you can come up with is a big shovel. So yeah, without the ground and the wooden railroad stays holding up this rail, it looks like Joseph was just holding up the rail. Joseph lifted a train.
Damn.
He saved countless lives by lifting a train.
Yeah. So Mariah gets really pissed off. She calls them shit-eating bitches.
Yes.
And we get a big detailed close-up of her face when she's pissed off. Super ugly looking, snot running out of her nose and spit flying everywhere and all this shit.
At this point, I'm thinking, this should be easy. You can set the lady on fire.
Yeah.
They never set the lady on fire.
I can only think it's because they just really don't feel like setting a woman on fire.
They threaten to set the lady on fire, but they don't. At least at this moment, what saves her is a distraction, you might say.
Oh, yeah, because like Joseph has already thrown out Hermit Purple to wrap around her neck and like, hey, I can destroy you at any second. Yeah, how about you describe what happens next?
So we see her with, she's being strangled by purple vines, and her sort of crop top begins to swell.
Yeah.
To absurd size.
Oh boy, time for an out of context gif for breast expansion fetishists, because that's what this scene is.
You know when the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day?
Oh yeah.
What if the Grinch's bazongas grew 3 sizes that day?
There is a really funny fucking reaction shot, though, from Joseph, where he just, like, leans forward, lifts one eyebrow, and, like, one of his eyeballs just, like, threatens to, like, just shoot out of his fucking skull. like fucking, like, Tex Avery style.
And her nipples are protruding.
Yeah. And it just more and more. And what's actually going on here is she has stuffed her bra full of
nuts and bolts. Yeah.
Nuts and bolts. She's just been running around with nuts and bolts in there.
And as she pulls her shirt down to let them fly they do, and they act as bullets just flying into the faces of Joseph and Avdol.
God damn.
That makes sense. Yeah, okay, that's how we do it.
It's just fucking wild. So yeah, they've been pelted with shrapnel, they're bleeding, they've fallen down, they're stuck to each other yet again.
For the people who interpret, everything in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure through the lens of Araki's life experience, I hesitate to ask what they have to say about the Bast fight. Where do they think this came from?
Yeah. They're stuck together. And they're not just stuck together, they're stuck together with, like, the train track beam that they melted off the tracks.
Yes.
Like, they better hope another train doesn't come, I guess.
Well, no. As they leave, they haven't left yet, but as they do, Avdol mentions, oh, look at all the locals. Surely one of them will call the railroad line and report this.
Okay,
we are free to continue on in our pursuit. So as Mariah runs away, Joseph's like, all right, it's time to get fucking serious. And he slams down the ground and he makes a dirt map of the city with like a "You Are Here" mark, and complete with a little moving rock that represents Mariah.
Yeah, he can fucking track people now. Holy shit.
I love that he has a map-making power. That's so, like, cars would have been dead so much faster if he could have made maps as a young man.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, okay, so he's been able to 2 times now make a map of, like, the area around him, like, of city streets. Can he do the whole world?
Oh, God.
Because, like, if he could do that, like, maybe this is a thing he, learned on this journey to Dio. But it could have been, like, where the fuck is Dio? And then just paint a big world map, and then there's just a little rock where on Cairo or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Hermit Purple seems to be like a real expression of necessity is the mother of invention. Like,
yeah.
We start with Joseph believing he just does spirit photography on certain cameras. And then as he gets desperate and as he gets, fearful for their mission, he keeps just trying new things.
Yeah.
If he needed to, find Dio, maybe he could.
Yeah.
So we have to check in with Polnareff and JoJo as they're talking about how slow the old guys are being today, and the English dub makes a wonderful choice to squeeze some extra syllables in for the lip flaps, and has Polnareff call Avdol a major douche canoe.
I have to listen to the English dub more often. Good Lord.
It seems Joseph and Avdol have some sort of plan that includes chasing Mariah. Mariah's plan, however, is to just wait for them to attract so much stuff that their bodies are crushed under the weight like Giles fucking Corey.
Yeah.
Because she's got a Goldilocks zone, essentially. She needs to be close enough to them that she can still use her stand and keep their increasing magnetic attraction, working for her, but far enough away that she doesn't get strangled anymore.
Yeah, because it's clear that, like, this is a lady who isn't, like, a fighter at all. She just has this magnetism thing that she uses to her advantage. She's
trying to lead them through the city center where there's lots of magnetic objects, which means comedy business is just happening. It's in the air all around them. Like, our 2 heroes are laser focused and ready for action, but all the goofiest shit is just happening to them. And being literally put upon them through these waves of magnetism.
Like, Joseph runs by a guy who's just riding a bicycle. The next shot you see of the guy, he's just like fucking Wile E. Coyote pedaling midair on no bike. It doesn't fall until he realizes the bike is gone.
They ruin a proposal. There is somebody stacking a giant pyramid of mango juice cans for no good reason.
Yeah. There's an old man with dentures that has one gold tooth in it, and so his dentures get torn out of his face.
Also, the Mango Boy has a dog that looks just like Rude Dog from all the like surfwear.
I was trying to remember what the fuck that dog was. Yeah, it looks
Rude
just like
Dog.
Rude Dog. What is up with that?
The dates line up. Like, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. I like the dog's food bowl that just says dog on it.
Yes, which then flies at Joseph and he gets covered in dog food.
Yeah. Joseph is just so weighed down by shit anymore that he is being forced to just kneel. There's so much shit on him.
And as Mariah begins to gloat, Joseph's like, "Oh yeah, what you gloating for?" Because we realize for a few moments we've only been following Joseph. Avdol took a different corner, and now he is on the opposite side. They have her in a pincer maneuver. Ha ha ha.
Aha.
Of course, they're both absolutely covered in trash.
Yeah, they can't like fucking move anymore.
Yeah.
And she is also just like, hey, this is a perfect situation for me. Look above you. And she just throws some knives into the air that sever power lines. And
Power lines, which of course are highly magnetic and go straight for their faces.
Yeah.
So Magician's Red is trying to melt all the cable it can to protect Avdol, while Joseph is left just like trying to bind power cables with his own cables, the vines of Hermit Purple, before they grab his face. And like the increasing power of their magnetism is getting so strong that like the copper wire is starting to come through and sort of deglove from the insulating layer of the cable. It's like getting at him like the inner mouth of the alien coming after Ripley.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Avdol he's just completely flat on the ground now and can't move. And
there is a truck on him.
Yeah,
he has a truck for a backpack.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, what is this force? I feel something really strange happening now. Yeah, and this truck just lands on top of his fucking back and he's getting crushed by a truck slowly.
and so Mariah, in her moment of triumph, is like, hey, old dude, you're pretty hot though.
Yeah.
We can't not. It's been too long since we had a horny moment in the horny episode. We got to do it.
Yep, it's got to happen. And Joseph's just like, okay, well, if I'm so hot, can you save me, please?
And when she says no, that she refuses, and like the question isn't would you save me? The question is would you like turn off your stand? Would you stop the magnetic attraction? And she's like, no, never. Man, Dio is actually way hotter than any of you fools. So I know where my bread gets buttered. And oh boy. So Joseph's like, well, if you're never gonna ever turn off the magnetism, then time to fucking die. Yep. And it's a super extreme close-up of just his eye as the music drops and the lighting shifts. And it's one of those perfect, absolutely perfect mood shifts that I think really is what makes this show work. This is the true pincer maneuver. It wasn't going to be a stand fight. It was just going to be Joseph and Avdol once again letting their attraction to one another go and crushing her between them and all of the metal shit they've katamari'd together.
Yeah, Joseph was only not flying towards her because he was like holding on to a sewer grate. So he just lets go and starts floating in the air, and him and Avdol just crush her.
Much like in the Death 13 fight, much like Manish Boy learned, you cannot get between these boys.
No.
If you try to get between these boys, you will eat shit.
Yeah. They make a remark that they didn't kill her, and I don't know how this is possible because they are like 2 tons of metal each, smashing...
Yes.
Crushing. Like, you see her...
with enough force to pick them up off the ground and fly, and then instantly reach 0 as they meet. So calculate that deceleration. Damn.
When she gets smashed, like, in between these 2 piles of metal, like, you see her face getting slowly more and more squished and just puking blood. It's like that fucking scene from the end of Akira.
Yes,
that person's getting squished by all the meat. It's that. But Joseph and Avdol just kind of get up and just like dust each other off. They look into like the cracked side view mirror of that truck that was on Avdol, and like Avdol's just like fixing his hair.
And like they look down at their watch and say, "Oh, is it really only 9 a.m.?"
Yeah.
This is Riverdale. They got up hours ago to go to their 3 part-time jobs before they had to go to school.
Yeah. And so they just walk off. They're fine now. And Mariah, still alive. You just see her hand twitching. She calls them shit-eating bitches one more time. And then you get text that just says, "All bones broken, unable to recover, must retire."
Does retire mean Dio's gonna kill her? Is she gonna be taken out like Enya before her?
Yeah, like it feels like if you fail...
You know, Dio's last girlfriend, Enya?
Yeah, like if you fail, I'm pretty sure that means Dio just kills you at some point. But this is a thing it's happened a couple times in the past, but you'll see a lot of this where like the stand users don't get outright killed, they just get retired.
This like on-screen text dossier ending, though, I think this is new. I don't recall this happening before.
Yeah, this happens a lot more from here on out, if I remember correctly.
As these two walk off, dusting their hands, well, time to meet the others for breakfast, I guess, huh? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the others at breakfast are like, let's go. I'm sick of waiting.
Yeah.
And up behind them walks a guy who is clearly a stand user because he has giant hair with like jingle bells hanging out of it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, God, this guy.
He introduces himself to no one as Alessi.
Yeah. I, Alessi, shall kill Jotaro and Polnareff, and then we see his shadow begin to extend.
A shadow that does not follow, his silhouette.
Yeah.
And then his shadow's big dewy eyes open up.
Yeah, like it's a shadow, but it has like real physical eyes on it. And yeah, this is going to lead to... It's a really cool stand fight and like concept, and like the fight is good, but... Oh boy, it's also got problems. It is a thing that they like kind of changed the tone of a bit from the manga because it's just too kind of icky.
Oh,
but
boy.
Even with those localization changes, it's still like, oh boy. It is still cool though. But there's just that extra bit there. But yeah, I really like this two-parter. It is a good mix of like an actual solid stand fight while also being kind of like the joke stand fight. More in just the situations they're getting put in, and less like the other joke stands we've seen where it's just like the stand users are just completely ineffectual, like Oingo and Boingo. Or the Sun, where it's just like a guy who gets owned really quickly.
I think part of what makes this work is that as ridiculous as everything surrounding them is, Joseph and Avdol are absolutely straight men. Even if, all the children of town would disagree with that. But that they are focused and serious. And it's like the 60s Batman show.
Yeah.
It doesn't work unless you are playing it with like this grim seriousness. Well, not necessarily grim, but like without that anchor. You might as well put in, slide whistles and have the score done by kazoos, and then who cares? But
yeah. And yeah, this is one of the episodes I think about frequently from part 3, where it's like, ooh, what are the fights that have like the best, like kind of the best climax to them, where like when the tables turn, it's really satisfying. I love this one, like the music cues.
Yes.
All of that, because like you have no idea how they can turn it around at that point when they have power cables like an inch away from their face.
Although it makes perfect sense. They just do what's been happening the whole time. Yeah. To the point that you almost wonder, like, oh, have you never fought more than one person before? You didn't think of this?
Yeah, it's funny. It's fun to see the stand user get foiled by just not thinking hard enough about how their own power works.
Yeah.
Also, nice to have like another fight with Avdol, and it's a new pairing too. We never had Avdol and Joseph in a fight together.
That's true. Even when they've been like these friends for years, like to see them carry that connection, that understanding into combat is special. It's good. I'm glad we finally got it.
Yeah.
You go back to like the Hanged Man fight. There's a lot you can mine from putting two people together that don't work well together and making them. But like on the flip side, it's a lot of fun to see two guys that are the best of pals and they really do understand one another. And so seeing them get to excel from there.
Yeah, like they put together the pincer attack plan without even like speaking to each other. Joseph just sees another road going off another way, and he just points at it, and Avdol's just like, yeah, all right, and he just goes that way and just knows what he means. It's great.
There have been hotter ladies in JoJo's.
Probably still the hottest lady is Lisa, right?
School nurse. School nurse.
Right, school nurse. I forgot about her. Yeah, she's there for 10 minutes, but she's pretty hot, yeah. All right, time for our side JoJo podcast where we rank how hot all the ladies are. There haven't been a lot so far, but we'll include every version of the ladies too. So we got to have
Newlywed and Granny Arena.
Yep.
Maid and real estate maven Susie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, look forward to that special episode. Definitely actually happening for real.
Definitely actually happening.
Well, we just have to rank how hot all the guys are now too.
I mean, we've been doing that as we go, I think.
No, yeah, I guess you're right. Old Joseph, number 1.
He's got a silver fox thing about him, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, minus points for racism, though.
Oh, the racism. Yeah.
Racism is not hot.
Oh, that puts him to number 2, maybe. I mean, straight up, when I've seen other people I follow on Twitter starting to watch JoJo for the first time, and then they get to part 2, they're like, man, Joseph's a lot of fun. I like this guy. And then they get to part 3, and then they just tweet, man, Joseph is daddy now. And then I'm just like, yeah, all right. Yeah, I see it.
I'm betting part 3 Dio is going to be the hottest JoJo character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once he finally steps out of the shadows, I'm betting part 3 Dio is going to be as hot as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the huge, beefy Jonathan body.
And he knows how to use it, something you cannot say for Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan didn't know how to work it at all. He was just huge.
Ugh. So thanks for joining us. For some reason, I don't know why you keep doing that. It's probably because we're fun and engaging, and we like you personally. Yeah. We're friends. Did you know that? I'm your personal friend.
Oh no, I don't want to begin this level of parasocial stuff with fans. I try to keep that stuff at a distance.
And you know what a friend would do? A friend would recommend our show to their friends so that we can make more friends, and then we can all go out for we can have a lemonade. It's beautiful outside. Have you seen it?
It's real
lemonade
nice
weather. That's what I say.
Yeah. See you later, everybody.
Bye. To be continued.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I thought it'd be an hour and a half like it usually is. Damn.